Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 12th March 2025. It's currently 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. First of all, remember this is never financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. Look, fascinating, obviously, time in the market, and we're having a bit of a crash, aren't we? I don't know if you'd call it a full-blown crash or the start of a crash, or just a heavy correction or fast correction, but we've gone straight down, haven't we, which is the definition of a crash, really. There is some pure panic. Like last week I was talking about there kind of not being full-blown panic, and it's like there has been some full-blown panic the last kind of 4 days, like this day here, the 7th, and then obviously yesterday and today. And it's you can't make this shit up. Like what's happening with Trump and Musk and tariffs, it's just like, holy shit. It's kind of like COVID. Like 3 months before COVID, if a day before COVID, right, if I told you about this thing that might happen, it would sound, you would have told me that I needed to get my head checked, and it just would have sounded so insane. And it's the same like what's unfolding with the big man in the White House. Like it's kind of ludicrous, and some of the, I don't know if you've watched any of these videos coming out of Musk and Trump in the bloody Tesla, and it's just, you just can't make this shit up. It's just absolutely nutty that this is happening, and this is what's going on. Like the market's just crashing, right? And so my long-term account is getting hammered, right? I've been through it before in the long-term account, all right? It's like it doesn't stress me anymore like it once did, but I just don't care that much because I'm young enough to not care. I'm just gonna, those long-term things are there for at least another 20 years, all right? And so who cares, right? But the trading account, it's also stress-free for me because it's mainly in cash. I had like the odd trade. Like the only new trade lately is CK, this one that broke out of a Darvish box, much smaller position than normal, and I've got my stop below the bottom of the box. So I'll see what happens. Just risking my a bit less than normal, and got the stop down below the bottom of the box, and we'll see what happens. But obviously, huge relative strength stock, but trading breakouts in a correction is inherently dangerous. So just trade small. I'm trading smaller. I'm hardly trading. I should be taking shitloads of shorts, but I'm not. I just it's a good excuse for a break for me. I've done okay the last few years, pretty good, and it's just don't care. It's happy to just chill. So that is that. Like I want to talk about some stuff I do to pick up real bargains. And I want to go back, kind of the first time I did it, and I didn't do it enough, was the GFC, right? Here's a chart of Combank, and I've got a monthly chart, and I've got Bollinger Bands up. Just standard Bollinger Bands with the 20 and the 2 setting. Right, here's the GFC, right, on the CBA. Right, we were up here at 61. The first leg down of the GFC, we got below the bottom of that Bollinger Band. Okay, down here it's like 38 or whatever it was. Then we had a little rally, a little base, and then bang, another leg down. And it's like, this is the classic correction bear market thing. One leg, base, second leg. Okay, and that is the textbook. Like this, what I'm showing here, just like, this is a textbook correction, okay? All the textbooks talk about it. It's just one leg, base, one leg, bang, okay? Now, they don't all look as perfect as that, but that is a really good thing to study, just how this unfolded, right? And then, like, usually, and COVID was different, right? We had this V rally, okay? And I was talking about it after this first leg down in COVID. I was talking about the exact same thing. I was like, usually corrections are like bang, 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 and have that second leg, but they don't always, okay? Like the COVID correction, obviously, shit, where is it? Here it is. God, it looks like a blip, doesn't it? just a V rally, wasn't it? Bang, below the bottom of the Bollinger Band on a monthly chart, bargain time, and then bang, straight up, okay? The reason for pointing this out is that we're a long, long way away from this Bollinger Band, okay? Let's just go to the, the ASX 200, okay? We're less far from it because obviously the CBA had that big run, but we're still a shitload far away from it, okay? Like all the way down here. I'm telling you, if this is a full-blown market crash correction, it will probably come down there eventually. It might do it within a week or two. It could totally happen, right? If true fear, like this sort of fear, hits the market, this will be down here, right, before you can blink. And so by looking at a monthly chart and by putting your Bollinger Bands on, I promise you it gives you some amazing perspective on what can happen, not what will happen necessarily, obviously, but what totally commonly will happen in big, dangerous, fearful, blood on the street type market situations, scenarios, okay? And so, yes, like today I posted on the forum, I nibbled at some gear, okay? But when I say I nibbled, it really was a nibble, right? It was just this little, I'm going to buy a little bit, okay? Like literally I added about like tiny percentage, like, if my overall holding, I think I had, like what I bought today, I increased my holding by like 2% or something. Like it was just a nibble. Just because, this is the third or fourth big day of fear since this day, which tends like 3 days of fear in a row. Maybe sometimes you get a nice bounce off that. And it just felt today like shit was blowing up on my phone, just like getting messages willy-nilly from all sorts of people. And it was like, I just thought, it's time to just nibble, okay? But catching a falling knife is hard. And as I've just been chatting about, gear could be heading down here to $19 or $18, okay? I'm not going to sell, I don't give a shit. If it goes down there, I buy, right? I mean, nibbling all the time, and I'll just really load up. If we get below that bottom Bollinger Band, okay, on a monthly chart, that is when the wheelbarrow comes out, and I'm just recruiting all the cash I can get, emptying my wife's account, probably steal from my kids, and I'll just load the shit up and just get as much as I can, right? So that is really all I wanted to talk about. Monthly charts and Bollinger Bands. Super simple shit. I don't think it's written in any book that I've ever seen. I just promise you, just study it, just look at it, keep it in the back of your mind. It's done me well. Happens very rarely though, right? Like have a look at, I don't know, what are we doing? Have a look at BH. How often is it? I guess it happens more on BH, doesn't it? Commodities, right? They trend harder than other things. But have a look at the big banks and the indices. Let's have a look at say the S&P 500 indice. Holy shit! It's actually never got below there. Even COVID. Shit. Did it during the GFC? Must have. Yeah, I mean it did here in 11 at the bottom. But it's just, my point is in awesome assets that you want to own long term, it's really, really rare for these awesome assets to have break that Bollinger Band on a monthly chart. And if they truly are awesome assets that you want to own for the long term, it's just bargain time as far as I'm concerned. And this is never financial advice. The only other thing, guys, quickly, is that I'm still doing my scans, okay? Like, I just want to quickly show you something, like, because it's fascinating. Like, there's all this blood on the streets, but you do a little Darvis scan. I'm not saying I'm buying this, but, like, what am I doing, guys? Like, sorry, I'm just, had a few too many wines last night, to be honest, and I'm a bit dusty. So you do this scan, it's just, I'm going to pause for a sec. All right, so it's just a plain old Darvis scan. So let's just get rid of these Bollinger Bands now. Hey, just, A to M, ooh, shit, that's showing a lot of strength, isn't it? Um, it just it's a good scan to do, like every day, just in a market crash like this. Like, what are the stocks still in their boxes? It's worthwhile doing. Hey, boom, talking about that before, but it's kind of like it's come down the bottom of that box. But anyway, just do the scan. Keep looking for the relative strength, because once the dust settles and Trump comes out and reverses his stance on say Canada and Mexico or Australia, and who knows what he's going to do. It could just be a negotiating tool. Like, you just don't know. No one really knows. He's crazy. He's erratic. And one day we might wake up and he just has announced the most bullish thing ever, and he's stopped all tariffs and the market's up 10%. Like, it's just anything can happen. And that's it. And take care. And I'll chat to you next week. Cheers.